So this is an evening of connectitude, it looks like. We get Canuck poets tonight. So I don't think I can live up to what Melinda said, but anyway, that's going to be fun.
Give it a shot.
I'd like to start with the Generation of Thistles, and this is one of the books that was published by the method that Melinda mentioned that maybe I'll tell you more about later. I want to tell you where this book came from. I was the elder child of an immigrant family. I was the chief poisoner. Armed with a 2,4-D tank and a wickedly long plastic syringe, I crisscrossed our scruffy prairie lawn, brush cut like my father's head, the dutiful assassin of dandelions, clover, ragweed, chickweed, and those nightmare garden warriors, pit bulls. My mother would have thrown up her clean Dutch hand had I confessed admiration for this prickly enemy. I had fallen in love with all things Scots. The thistle had been the emblem of Scotland for 800 years. How could I betray this symbol of rebellion and independence, grave alien in an Alberta garden? The Scots thistle proved a worthy adversary. Not only did its thorns breach my youthful skin, but it was anchored to earth by an amazingly long taproot, which resisted excavation and, should I fail to dig all of it out, sent up new shoots almost before I left the battlefield. We had learned about taproots in school, thus I knew we immigrants had none. My family were dirty DPs, newcomers fleeing post-war Europe. My mother steadily complained about the hardships of newcomers. In a way, she was right. I settled down 7 times in 7 towns, a stony challenge every time. My generation is thistledown, parachuted westward across the world at the whim of culture's trends. At heart, we long to put down the anchoring taproot, whose seed we carry, in fertile ground safe from the witless poisoner. Generation of thistles. Wind-wrapped, they ascended, seeds of ourselves. Ancestral story, thistledown on whims of chance. Wind-wrapped, they ascended, drifted, alighted. History the dance, flights of ballerinas outsoaring mirrored walls. White skirts aflutter in the updraft of ambition. White arms winging in ecstatic vision, parachuting progress around the windy world. You're finished. You can hang in there till I put this book down. Okay. All right, so landed. Fumble for the pumice stone. It floated through my suitcase, looking for the shore. Back on the broken earth, I worry off the skin tags on my starveling feet. Just think, if we'd gone down. The bodies retrieved near expressions of water, sodden and squared. Someone might have noticed these rags of pain I walk on. Someone might have mentioned how I'd let myself go. Just think, if we'd gone down, individually wrapped in our flowered shirts, Mammon's candy, and a winged tin box, no one would have noticed this hungry heart. None would have read my invisible ink. Only my child might have come to the morgue to exhume my anonymity. Briefly in her warm palms, my child might gently cradle these cold and ragged heels. Now this one actually won a prize. I don't have a lot, but it did win anyway. Which is and it's short, so maybe I should write more short ones. Easter, Sylvan Lake, 1956. Half a century ago, I found the Easter bunny dead about 3 days. His stench didn't stop my little hand from stroking his velvet ears, from noticing the hole in his heart where my father had pierced him. Now I wonder how it felt between those darkened fingers, the silken ears still warm as he flung the little life into the bush. If he felt better, maybe stronger, about the stubborn sleeper in the tent, the one who lay and moaned for silk and velvet dreams left rotting on a European shore. Now we're going to switch to America. At some point in my life, I don't know, my senses left me if I ever had any, and I married Texas. So, where the heck is this song? All right. And my mother-in-law, a wonderful woman, named Ruby Kuru, and the Kuru part was for her Cherokee heritage. So I have a daughter who's part Cherokee. Anyway. And these poems are for Ruby, who tried. Susie Faye, 1945, Missouri. My love delivers kisses and a change of name. He wants to call me Susie, rather like a game. Say Chuck instead of Charlie. Forget my Cherokee. Pretend you love my beauty, or is it my degree? Oh yeah, get rid of Kuru, that crazy Indian call. Please forget my Ruby, that trashy southern doll. All the wars are over. Never more, no more. I've gotten where I've got to. Opened my last door. I think I love you, Chucky, my white and shining knight. Sweep me to the future. I'll be your beacon bright. Yours till the waterfalls, Susie. 1958, Kansas City. These marched through the decades. There's 6 of them. I told him, I said, son of a bitch, you better move your ass and ours to Texas. You better take that job, forget that broad. Pardon my French, but this is not what marriage is supposed to be. I told him, I said, what do you think? Did I dream this up? You can bury my past on the lone prairie with my Indian name and my cute degree? Pardon me, Buster, but this is not what I'm cut out to be. I told him, I said, think of the kids. Remember those 2? They need a dad. Is he going to be you? Will you write from Thailand and Timbuktu? Pardon me, jerk, if this is not my picture of darling Daddy. I told him, I said, trail of tears in reverse. I said, wish I was dead. But mothers can't die. Even layers of lies can't smother the sun. Pardon me, darling, but this is not my children's destiny. 1965, Dallas, Texas. My son, I am so proud of you. Today, of all good days, your graduation from high school deserves a lot of praise. You've worked so very hard, and now the world's your private pearl. I hope that in life's oyster bed, you'll find the perfect girl. You've been the very best of sons. You've never left my side. My heart is weeping as you step into the world so wide. You know, I'll really miss you more than I can say. Once you got that damn degree, won't you come home to stay? 1973. Letter to his lawyer from Dallas, Texas. My son is really a very good boy. Always worked hard and cared for his cars as if they were horses to carry him lifetimes away. But he always came home, fixed up the house, and poured half my pills down the choking toilet before this year's girlfriend dragged him away. Of course he's upset. That slut should have known once she had trapped him between her white legs. Cherokee don't exactly take kindly to stealing our children away. Don't bother his father. That man wouldn't know a woman from widgets. He worked way too hard. The night that it happened, the office had told him away. Please let him out. He's not used to stricture. You'll drive him to madness that way. That judge, he can call me any old time. I've never been far away. 1983, Vancouver, Canada, Epithalamium, which is a wedding song. Marriage is a battle, son, and you had yours. I honor you for trying once again. Look at your father, son. Drunk as a lord and leaning on a pillar. Looks nothing like me. You'll have to call a taxi as big as our baggage to ferry your golden oldies across the famous waters my son calls home. I'll trail my left hand in the sun-silvered waves of second choice and chance. reflecting on how easily we are blinded by the pennies on our aching eyes. 1994, parked in the TV lounger, Dallas, Texas, the secret Cherokee. I smile, good as a devil. It's time for revenge. Chucky! I yell like the evil hag I lick in the morning on the mirror when he shuts the door for one blessed moment. Chucky, it's time! Play that video again. The one with the kid who's braver than the ocean, the little blonde type who runs in and out of the waves like Venus, or a creature unable to detect the difference in sand, salt, and air. Chucky! I crow. That's some grandchild you got. And where did she get that glorious hair? I smile like an idiot. How can he miss it? The bones of her smile, insouciant and wicked, the slanting bones, the lying, fearless eyes. Yes, those are mine, all marvelous mine. In the arithmetic of eagles, I subtract 1 day of pleasure with his rabbit flesh woman for every groan and grind. He won't last long, I guarantee it. While I soar above that golden girl, silver talons gripping the skin bag of native calculation. For memory. And this book, The Power of Water, is set up to sort of show a story of a person in trouble and who comes to Maui and is healed and is able to go back. So it's entitled The Illness Suite, The Maui Shore Suite, and The Salish Sea Suite. The Salish Sea is that body of water between the Scottish poet and the Paul River poet here. It's got a new name now. Very poetic, isn't it? The Salish Sea. So this is her first one. This is from the Illness Suite. Incendiary lawyer. Her friends, perhaps they are her friends, Sultan stoics in the dark gray norm, insisted that she sign on the thick black line, that she would not, for one full day, she would not shrug the ache she has become into the handsome antique robe, black with the authority, with the legitimacy of her life. She would not, she promised, unearth the crimson gas can in the garage, chaotic with the 16 boxes of her divorce, made of trees and breathing back when she mouths her vows, now mere punctuation black on the bleached square leaves, reams of a once life. She would not, she promised, beg, borrow, or buy with the last of the grocery money, the biggest, blackest felt pen capable of etching truth and shattering indictments on second-hand cardboard. No, not, she promised, would she stride to the station with the kid's allowance and jab in the nozzle for $3 of gas, its fragrance harking back to hospitals for broken cars where she sorrowed over vehicles outlived in the sagas of love journeys. She thinks, she promised, to forget the matches in case of one more pilgrimage to the house of law and logic, just in case she hungered for the blind lap of Themis, bitch goddess of proof, graciously aping out justice. The gas can banging on one side, attaché banging the other, hiding under skirts, her gown, her robe, her calling, her naked legs begging, let these bruises be the last thing she ever foresaw. Certainly, she promised quiescence for one day, no sparks or scrapes for ratios, or even the rough, panting efforts of Prometheus to draw fire or a picture that would capture all of hell. No creation, preservation, or the magic of the match, touching the sweet scent of her, running on empty and reeking of gas, the ghastly, ghostly past, torching the ice-bound court, never before lit by the word. No, her friends made her sign it away. Forswear the heat ached for so long. Push away death and its parting gifts. They packed her away on a plane, painted with blooms, Deus ex machina, possibly bound for a truth-telling sun. At least it would lift her, a cough of spent smoke, a tatter of carbon. At least it would lift her, pack of black troubles, out of sight, out of mind, far away. So now we get to the good stuff.